because they know actually the other way will turn the country to the civil war. But at the same time, especially with some in Tel Kalakh, where actually there were tribes there, and smuggling between Syria and Lebanon, there's some incidents by the activists using the guns. But when you see actually the security raiding your house, and some, of course, this is being confirmed, some stories about raped women. The Washington Post, they pick up the story four women have been raped in Jisr Shaghur, and there's other stories in Al-Mu'addamiyah. You cannot actually convince those activists to keep them non-violence. Even that, it's a quite. We right now we are facing this challenge. Every day we're receiving calls, messages. Radwan, we cannot keep it like this. But they know the alternative will be much more difficult.
Thank you.
Hezbollah involved, yes, of course. Many levels, snipers, tactics, strategies. They also videos documenting people were captured, and they're not obviously speaking in a Lebanese accent. They spoke how they went in and stuff. So that's all now a confirmed fact. Quickly on the non-violent, yes. I mean, you cannot expect any peaceful non-violent movement, even in India, during Gandhi's period, to be 100% that, but it is largely non-violent, out of conviction that we should not be pushed to fall into any of these two traps that Radwan said, sectarianism, and because people have seen Libya and have seen Egypt and seen Tunisia. They do not want a Libyization of the Syrian case. They know it's going to prolong the conflict. It's going to cause more casualties, going to cause international military intervention, boots on the ground, because even airstrike is not going to do anything. And no one wants that. They don't want to see the infrastructure of their country destroyed. So the shortest route, despite all the sorrows and the atrocities and the killings, still cheaper in terms of life costs, rather than going into an armed conflict.
And yet, Osama, there were reports of some sectarian killings about, what was it, a month ago? I mean, is that being kept under control?
It's part of the, not being able to control and understand. The only institution in the world you can control is the military, and this is not a military operation that the opposition is leading. It's a public uprising. And despite that fact, straight away from the coordinating committees, we send people straight away to those smugglers who have weapons or tribal leaders who are very eager to do something in terms of weapons, to tell them that you shouldn't do this. This is a regime trap. The minute you use arms, the whole international reaction will be different. The regime will respond in a completely different way. And now, out of just opposing the regime, because they know the regime is pushing for that agenda, now they want to oppose this. Want to kill us? Okay, fine. Here we are, naked. Just kill us now. And we've seen this in many videos. They're holding, mobile cameras and saying, "Shoot, just shoot. I don't care." So that's largely part of it. The question on the politics of Lebanon, I'll leave that to the ambassador. But I think everyone knows that Lebanon's internal politics will be, if not slightly, largely different if it has a free democratic country, Syria, next door. And the interview with the Wall Street Journal, I don't think Bashar realized there is something is being cooked, will be prepared and launched in March 15th. Not even his security forces, not even his intelligence or army, and not even anyone of the Syrian experts, quote unquote, abroad. They always tell us that this is a dead case and there's no hope. I remember when I was doing my master's degree in England on the role of internet and ICT in nonviolent revolutions, when I studied the Eastern European experiences and flow information, all that in nonviolent conflict, and I studied under G-Town myself, and I applied the model on Syria. I remember my professor at the time saying, "Why are you wasting your time? And just apply the model on an African nation, Latin American nation, or whatever." Apparently, I wasn't wasting my time.
I would agree with Osama that actually it's amazing that the Syrian demonstrators have been as peaceful as they have. Obviously, There have been, as pointed out, there have been Salafis maybe who did revenge killings. There certainly have been some credible reports of Alawite officers having been killed in ambushes. But it's not widespread. And as Radwan indicates, the regime would probably like nothing better than for a significant minority of the demonstrators to take up arms, because then that would give them license to really go crazy, and they would be inviting in the foreign press and saying, "See, we told you all the time that this what was going on." It's in nobody's interest in the entire region, Lebanon, Iraq, even Israel, that this turns into Jordan. Sectarian warfare. Again, one has a sense that the family that rules Syria is deliberately trying to implicate a lot of people in the army in its crimes and make them complicit so that they will fear any change of power whatsoever. But if obviously Lebanon, it would not be good for Lebanon if this turned into essentially a highly identified sectarian clash and civil war in Syria. We already saw Sunni Alawi clashes in Tripoli, not for the first time, and it would be bad.
Thank you. I just want to remind everybody that our Syria issue is on sale in the lobby. You can pay with cash or credit card. I'm afraid we're out of time. Please join me in thanking our wonderful panelists.